Van Persie'ye doğru. Kafa Van Persie.
Robin Van Persie, a name that resonates strongly in the world of football, is remembered not only for his undeniable talent, but also for the controversy that surrounded his career. From his early days at Feyenoord to his premature retirement, Van Persie's footballing life was marked by moments of glory, betrayal, injuries, and, ultimately, the pursuit of success that always seemed within reach but never fully assured. This is the story of a player who was both a hero and a villain, depending on who you ask. Born in Rotterdam in 1983, Van Persie seemed destined for football from an early age. His family, which included artists and creative figures, supported his footballing talent from the start. Even before he was born, his parents visited a fortune teller who predicted that he would have a son who would one day play for the Netherlands. This almost mystical destiny seemed to manifest when Van Persie began to display extraordinary talent on the field. At 16, he was already recognized as one of the best emerging talents in the Netherlands. However, his problematic temperament and challenging attitude nearly derailed his career before it really began. He was expelled from Feyenoord's youth academy due to his behavior, a fact that distanced him from the possibility of being signed by clubs like Manchester United at that time. Despite this, Feyenoord decided to give him a chance and promoted him to the first team, where, despite injuries, he showed glimpses of his brilliance. Despite a rocky start at Feyenoord, where he didn't score a single goal in his first 8 months, Van Persie won the Dutch Young Talent of the Year award and became a European champion with the team. Although his role as a winger in a two-striker system did not allow him to shine as a goal-scorer, his ability to dribble and create opportunities made him a generational talent. In the 2002 UEFA Cup, he was a key player, especially in the semi-finals against Inter Milan, where his performance was so dominant that he seemed to be playing in a higher category. However, his behavior off the field continued to be a problem. An incident where he refused to warm up for a match and then left the locker room shouting in anger was a clear indication of his lack of maturity. This led the coach to repeatedly send him to the bench or even play him with the reserve team. Despite these challenges, when he was finally given the chance to play a full 90 minutes, he scored 5 goals in a single match, demonstrating his potential and forcing the club to reconsider its treatment of him. In 2004, Arsenal, managed by Arsene Wenger, signed Van Persie with the hope that he could become the successor to Thierry Henry, who had already established himself as one of the world's best strikers under Wenger's guidance. However, the path to greatness was not easy. Van Persie faced criticism for his immaturity and had to deal with a series of injuries that threatened to derail his career. Despite these obstacles, his talent began to shine. In the 2005 to 2006 season, although sidelined by injuries, Van Persie showed glimpses of his goal-scoring ability and was named Player of the Month in November 2005. But his physical fragility became a recurring problem, and when Arsenal reached the Champions League final that season, Van Persie had only played 8 minutes throughout the knockout stages in the following seasons. Although he continued to be a key figure at Arsenal, injuries remained his worst enemy. Despite this, he managed to outscore his teammates in several seasons and scored some of the most spectacular goals of his career. One of those goals, against Charlton in 2006, was described by Wenger as the goal of his life. However, as the years passed, Van Persie began to wonder if he would ever have a full season without injuries. The 2011 to 2012 season was a turning point for Van Persie. With Cesc Fabregas leaving the club, Van Persie was named Arsenal's captain. For the first time in his career, he managed to stay injury-free throughout the season and showcased his true quality. He scored 37 goals in all competitions, winning the Premier League Golden Boot and being named PFA Player of the Year. However, despite his heroic efforts, Arsenal failed to win any major titles. leading Van Persie to question the club's direction and ambition in a meeting with the board of directors to discuss his contract renewal. Van Persie expressed his concern about the club's lack of ambition and its focus on financial benefits rather than competitiveness on the field. This was the beginning of the end of his relationship with Arsenal. Less than 2 months after scoring his 30th goal of the season, Van Persie announced he would not renew his contract, leaving fans devastated. But the worst was yet to come. In August 2012, Van Persie signed with Manchester United, a move many Arsenal fans considered an unforgivable betrayal. Van Persie's decision to join Manchester United sparked intense fury among Arsenal supporters. Shirts with his name were burned, and his family received threats. However, Van Persie was not intimidated. In his first year with Manchester United, he proved that his decision was the right one from a professional standpoint. Under Sir Alex Ferguson's direction, Van Persie was the final piece of the puzzle that Manchester United needed to win the Premier League, and his contribution was nothing short of stellar. He scored 26 league goals and was instrumental in securing the title, including a hat-trick against Aston Villa that clinched the championship. This success not only validated his decision to leave Arsenal, but also allowed him to finally win the trophy that had eluded him throughout his career in England. However, despite this triumph, many Arsenal fans never forgave him for what they considered a betrayal of the club's values. Van Persie, however, stood firm in his decision, arguing that he had always had an internal desire to play for Manchester United, a club he had admired since childhood. After his first season with Manchester United, things began to change rapidly. Sir Alex Ferguson's departure at the end of the 2012 to 2013 season marked the beginning of a period of instability for the club. Van Persie, who had thrived under Ferguson's guidance, began to suffer from injuries again, and his performance was affected. Despite this, he remained a key figure in the team, though he never reached the heights of his first season at Old Trafford again in 2015. After 3 seasons with Manchester United, Van Persie moved to Fenerbahce in Turkey. Although he showed glimpses of his class, injuries and age began to take their toll. In 2018, he returned to Feyenoord, the club where it all started, hoping to end his career peacefully. However, his body could no longer keep up with top-level football, and in 2019, he announced his retirement.
And there is a guard of honor.
Van Persie, undoubtedly one of the deadliest forwards of his generation, remains an influential figure in the football world, now from the coaching side. Currently, Van Persie is developing his career as a coach, following an illustrious playing career that saw him shine at clubs like Feyenoord, Arsenal, Manchester United, and Fenerbahce. After retiring from professional football in 2019, Van Persie began exploring the technical realm, initially getting involved in the development of young talent at Feyenoord, the club where he began and ended his playing career in recent years. Van Persie has made significant strides in his transition to coaching. In 2020, he joined the Feyenoord coaching staff, working as an assistant to the head coach. Under Arne Slot's mentorship, Van Persie has been gaining experience and honing his tactical vision. His role at Feyenoord has been crucial in the development of young forwards, contributing his vast experience and knowledge of attacking play. Van Persie is considered one of the most promising young coaches in Europe. His focus on the holistic development of players, combined with his charisma and natural leadership, has positioned him as a future top-level manager. Some experts see Van Persie as a potential candidate to manage teams in elite leagues in the near future, and it is not ruled out that he could eventually take charge of Feyenoord as head coach or even make the leap to the Premier League, where he left an indelible mark as a player. On June 13, 2014, During the group stage of the Brazil World Cup, Robin Van Persie etched his name into football history with a goal that has become a symbol of creativity and technical prowess. In the 44th minute of the match between the Netherlands and Spain, Van Persie scored a goal that left the world in awe and marked the beginning of a decisive 5-1 victory for the Dutch. The goal started with a long and precise pass from Daley Blind, traveling over 40 meters in the air. Van Persie, demonstrating tactical intelligence and exquisite technique, read the trajectory of the ball and, while sprinting toward the Spanish area, executed a looping header from outside the box that beat goalkeeper Iker Casillas, who had no chance to react. The image of Van Persie suspended in the air, arms extended as the ball soared into the net, became an instant icon of the Brazil World Cup. This goal was not only crucial for the Dutch team's confidence in that tournament, but it is also considered one of the greatest goals in World Cup history. The combination of vision, precision, and execution under high pressure is what makes it so special. It has been the subject of numerous analyses and remains a reference point when discussing the most memorable goals in football history. Van Persie's goal against Spain is often remembered not only for its aesthetic beauty but also for its symbolic importance. It represented a sort of revenge for the Netherlands, who had been defeated by Spain in the 2010 World Cup final. The 5-1 victory in that group stage match was not only a devastating blow to the then world champions but also propelled the Dutch team to a remarkable campaign in Brazil 2014, where they reached the semifinals. Historically, the goal is compared to other iconic World Cup moments, such as Maradona's Hand of God goal in 1986 or Pelé's stunning goal in the 1958 final. With his header, Van Persie gave the football world an indelible memory, a reminder of how the game can offer moments of pure magic that transcend time. Robin Van Persie left behind a complex legacy. For many, he will be remembered as one of the most talented strikers of his generation, capable of doing incredible things with a ball. His technical ability, game vision, and knack for scoring crucial goals make him one of the greats of modern football. However, his career was also marked by controversy, betrayal, and injuries, which prevented him from achieving even more success. For Arsenal fans, Van Persie will always be a reminder of what could have been if he had stayed and helped the club win more titles. For Manchester United fans, he will be remembered as the man who restored their glory in 2013. As for Van Persie, his decision to switch clubs was one he made with conviction, knowing that, at the end of the day, football is as much a business as it is a passion. Robin Van Persie's legacy is one of great success, but also of tough decisions and controversial paths. His story is a reminder that football, like life, is often full of decisions that don't always please everyone, but ultimately define who we are and what we achieve. If Van Persie continues his development as a coach with the same passion and dedication he showed on the pitch, it's likely we'll see him leading teams in Europe's most prestigious tournaments in the near future, perhaps reviving the magic of that 2014 header, this time from the technical area. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for our next exciting content about the world of sports. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments. See you next time.